Hey y'all, it's Mr. P here with another fun, exciting science video. Today we're talking about collecting accurate data. And how do you collect accurate data? That's a good question. We just finished with our white powder experiment, and some of you have written down collected data. It might not be the correct data, but that's okay. We're in that task of learning how to do this. So there's a couple tools that we need when we're collecting accurate data. First of all, what I want you to do is I want you to take this piece of paper, cut it out, paste this into your notebook. What you're going to do is you're going to fold these flaps in, and I'll show you just in a second how I did mine. All right. So I got mine. Notebook right here, collecting accurate data. The reason that we collect data is if we didn't collect data in an experiment, it would be kind of useless to do the experiment in the first place. We make sure that we have accurate data, correct data, so that we're not misinterpreting or misleading other people into believing something that might not be true. So these are some of the things that you need when you're collecting accurate data. You need working tools. So whatever scientific tools that you're using, you need to have them on hand, and they need to make sure that you're using them right and in the correct way. One of the big things that you need to do is multiple trials, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But multiple trials means doing the experiment over and over and over. If it worked once, it should work again and again and again. And if it doesn't, then you know that your data might not be completely accurate. So making sure to do multiple trials. As we move on, making sure to follow procedures. Sometimes that's hard for us fourth graders to do, but following procedures is an important step. If we do step by step by step, we should be getting the same thing every time. It kind of goes along with that multiple trials thing. If you're doing the same thing, it should end up having the same result. So follow the procedures that are laid out, or the ones that you've laid out for you. Sometimes it's not just the directions that are on your assignment or like in your experiment, but it's the ones that you've laid out. Only one independent variable, that means only one thing is changing. So if you're only measuring one thing when you're talking about your experiment, so it could be temperature, it could be weight, but only one of the elements is getting changed. So like in our white powder experiment, the only thing that is getting changed is the liquid. The powders stay the same. The only difference is that we're putting different liquids on our powders. All right, and then our last one is record data as you go. So when you're working on your white powder experiment, hopefully you had your notebook handy for you so that you could have written down all of the information that you needed for your experiment. Recording your data is really important because guess what? If you miss something right in the action, it's kind of hard to remember it. I mean, you can remember a little bit, but it's harder to remember all of the details of what happened at that given moment. So make sure to do all of these 5 important steps when talking about collecting accurate data. On top of this, I just kind of want to check out how we've done so far. Remember, we've done a couple experiments so far. So I'm just going to go back to the front part of my notebook right here, to the table of contents, to show you exactly where we should be so far. So far, you should have all of these in your table of contents. Not all of them, but most of them in your table of contents because this is our Unit 1. So making sure that you have your scientific method, make sure that you're labeling the page numbers and that because there will be a notebook check coming pretty soon. So the scientific method, fold up, that's important, asking testable questions, and so on and so forth. And I'm on page 9. Maybe you're not on page 9, but I'm on page 9 with collecting accurate data. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 topics so far. Make sure that you write those down in your table of context. Remember, for a good 4 score for your assignments, they need to be complete and high quality reflections along with it. That's why we have that reflection page off to the side. Remember, if you're struggling with some ideas of reflection, some ideas of what you want to put for your reflection, you can use these output ideas. Remember, sentence stems, concept maps, personal experience connection, label drawing, so on and so forth. You can use these to help you with those reflections while you're taking the notes down in your notebook. All right, that's all that I have for you today. Science is cool, and so are you. Keep staying awesome. Peace out. Hey guys, I forgot one last thing to tell you. Tomorrow we are doing our white powder experiment number 2. And because we're doing our white powder experiment number 2, I need some ideas from you to figure out what exactly, what substances we are going to use or what liquids we are going to use. So put comments down below after this video to tell me what substances or liquids that you would like to test for our white powder experiment number 2, and we will try our best to get them. All right, that's all that I have for you for today. Peace out, friends. Remember, science is cool, and so are you.